Okay, so we're doing our Sunday snack. It's like a really rushed Sunday snack. It was like a hey, are you ready? And like in 5 minutes. So hey Isaac, what's going on?
Not a lot. How are you, Annette?
I'm fantastic. Surviving Hurricane Laura has like now hit Nashville, or like the winds and the rains and all that fun stuff. So and stuff on the bus. I'm picking up the bus on Tuesday, so really excited about that. Some of it's not done, and some of it's because of Hurricane Laura. It's been raining too much for paint to dry, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to paint cabinets, but whatevs. So pretty excited about that.
That's
First
awesome.
trip. I'm
How
kind of
much
scared.
how much left would you say you have to do on the bus?
It'll be probably like, I would say 80% done. I'm hoping like a little bit more. Like the things that I told him I wanted, I don't know if he got all of it done. Like it's on like the checklist of what I paid for. So I assume it's all like the Murphy bed should be in, the bench should be in, the cabinets should all be in. Like I still have to do propane, water, and some other stuff, but the majority of it should be done. And obviously I don't have solar yet, but it'll come. But yeah, I'm doing my first trek. I'm going to pick the bus up on Tuesday, bring it home, decorate it because I want to put stuff in it, which means my apartment's going to look like crap now because I'm taking like everything from my apartment and basically putting it in there. Um,
Moving
and
in.
then, huh?
Moving in.
Well, I want it to look cool. Um, and then I'm going to leave Tuesday afternoon to go to Springfield, which is where the bus was demoed, and show them it and spend the night there. And then I'm going to drive to St. Louis, which is like a 5.5 hour drive, which will be the longest I've ever driven in it. And then I'm going to stay hopefully at a church parking lot. I haven't confirmed that yet, but I was going to stay at Bass Pro or something, but that's kind of weird. Like it's like by myself. And then I'm going up to Iowa. So I'm gonna, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited, but I have not been nervous about this at all. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, it's like happening. I'm getting in there and I'm driving it by myself. So it's gonna be awesome. But how was your week?
My week was actually pretty great. I mean, I was working and I got to see some fantastic clients, and it's really inspiring just hearing like what people have done during their quarantine and like had so much time to think and like organize their lives, and like they've like made room to not only work, but they're finding time to like spend with their families or help other people, like do charitable things. So that's kind of cool, right? Like we realized that we maybe just were doing a little too much,
Right.
and then we had to slow down and realize that we do actually have time for ourselves and to do some cool things. So that's been pretty awesome. I have some amazing clients, so I'm like hang out with them, and I get to work at the same time, so win-win.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I did. So upcoming of like things that we're doing with Beautiful Strength. Always going to be doing new stuff. Always going to be focusing, never losing focus on Black Lives Matter, never losing focus on voting. All that stuff's coming up. I actually there was a lady in Aldi the other day. So having a job, like, I don't know if you do this with hair clients or something. Like, do you approach people and go like, oh my God, I love your hair. Or, oh, I'd like to do your hair. I don't know if people do that, but as a photographer, and especially with this project, I see people out and about all the time. And I'm like, oh, I want you in it. And like my friend Laura was like, you have like this total cool in now that you could just be like, oh, I want you to be part of something. And she's like, I'm kind of jealous, but it's also kind of cool. And it's like, she's also a part of it. So it's kind of neat. But I was at Aldi shopping and there was these two ladies with, masks on, which is now also weird too. Cause I'm like, oh my God, I like your mask. Like I would compliment somebody's shoes. And he's got like, it was Vote in rhinestones. It was so cool. And then the other one was Vote with like a woman, like with an afro on it. And it was like this super cool. And I was like, I'm like, I don't mean to, like, where did you get your mask for one? That's cool. And then two, I was like, would you mind being in my photo project? And I should have just gone out into the parking lot and popped up the backdrop and taken the picture. That would have been really cool. But so I did message, she gave me her number and I messaged her a couple of times, but I haven't heard back from her. But I'm hoping that those two ladies will be in my photo shoot. But September starts tomorrow. No, there's 31 days in August. So Tuesday. And September, there's it's Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. So I've been interviewing. I've done 2 so far. I have a 3rd one in the works and possibly a 4th one or 5th one. But I've interviewed this girl that runs Living for Everything. It's a nonprofit here, and she helps with comfort kits for cancer caretakers. And her daughter had leukemia and had a bone marrow transplant, and she's 6 now. She's doing really well. So I interviewed her. That's going to be coming out. And then I also interviewed this girl, Allie, that I know that her son has leukemia now. And he's technically in remission, but like they go through, it's like a 3-year treatment plan for boys. And so interviewed her. And then I also have in the works of like some older, like a girl who's like 20 or 25, something like that. And she just had a baby and she survived leukemia. Like, it's just, so September will be very heavy focused on childhood cancer. And then October I have the whole Glitter Tips series that's coming out, which is super exciting. It's not nearly, I thought it was going to be in some big thing with like big printouts and whatever, but whatevs, COVID. Who knows? So anyway, that's what's happening currently.
Who sent us something about candles?
I did. Yeah. Oh, I thought you said who sent us something. Yes. So I'm trying to think of creative ways to do fundraising, but also like make them really cool. This lighting is great. This angle. Squirrel. So I thought, like, I've had a lot of people that when we talk or we do stuff, they're like, oh my God, you're bringing such a light. Like, you're just a sparkle, or you're like the project itself just makes people happy or makes people feel, but it also unites. And it's just it's a positive glow. So I thought, and like, whenever I'm like trying to concentrate or I need calm or I need relaxing, or I light a candle, or like when friends are coming over, I light a candle. So I was like, we should do a candle that is beautiful strength. So I ordered a small candle. I've never made candles in my life. I ordered a small kit to try to make them. And then I also found a couple companies that make them in bulk, but you can't, like, some of the flavors scents I didn't necessarily like. They were kind of limited. But I think I want to do one that's kind of just like our basic standard beautiful strength, and then have some sort of like paper or something that says, you be a light or something like that. And then eventually I want to have multiple ones that are like, one would be called like fuck it, and it would smell like tequila and lime or some margarita or something. And then another one would be like unicorn strength or something like that. So it would smell really fruity and it would have glitter in it. And then another one, what was the other one? I had this like, calm like a bomb. Like, to put that on there, but it would be like lavender or something. Like, I don't know. I was just trying to think of like fun ones too that would be, I mean, let's get through batch 1 first, I suppose, and see if I can even do it. And then we'll move on. And then what was the other thing that I thought? Oh, I wanted to do like a basket, like something for November, which we also are going to be in a craft fair in November. I got invited to do that. Jessica, who's our treasurer, she runs, it's I think it's Wilson County. It's like a craft fair, and it's from November 12th through the 15th, I think it is. And she was like, we want you there. You don't have to pay. We just want you to bring your bus and like talk about positivity and like talk about your project. You could do portraits. And if we make money from the portraits, there's a company called, it's like, I think it's the Underground Railroad. but it's for child trafficking. I'm not really sure why they use that exact name, but I'll do some research on that. But we're splitting profits, so they help with extraction of kids in dangerous situations and like lost kids that they help find. So it's pretty cool.
Well, the LA organization that I mentioned last time, CAST, was the abolition of slavery and human trafficking. So it could be
maybe they're all together.
Okay. Yeah. So
I should probably do more research before I speak.
It's okay. No, but I mean that it kind of, I understand what you were thinking with that, because it's like there is a link to those two things. So human trafficking and slavery, I think, are very, very much like in the same realm. Speaking of, did I read that there were like 39 kids rescued from a home in, I want to say Mississippi?
I was going to say Indiana, so one of us is not correct, and it's probably me.
It's probably neither one.
So
it was Georgia.
Where was it? Georgia?
Georgia, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's see. It was through the Operation Not Forgotten. Yeah, that was Saturday. It was posted on CNN Saturday the 29th.
That's awesome. There's also, so somebody else posted that it was 37 child molesters in Oregon and 34 in California were busted this week. I don't know if that's the same, or if that's just somebody's like post. It's not an actual news reporting, so it could be incorrect because it is Facebook. So
and we love Facebook.
I'm not fact checking, but but that was Chrissy's story from this week that I posted. Her podcast, it's pretty intense because she talks about sex trafficking and like how her dad abused her and like drug abuse and stuff. And she's a really good person. Like she's intimidating. Like when you first meet her, she's like 6'2" maybe. She's big, like tall, like, and sometimes like she'll look like she's mad, like she has that resting bitch face thing, which this is not like being mean. This is like a conversation I literally just had with her. But then she smiles and like her whole face smiles and she just laughs and she is like you just want to hug her. Like she's like, I know I can be intimidating, but I'm really nice. But that's awesome.
I haven't had a chance to yet, but I definitely look forward to hearing her story. So, and you've been posting quite a bit, so I got some catching up to do.
Yeah, well, normally it's supposed to be every Tuesday, and now I have a lot of people that are coming and want to share. And like with hers, I was like, I didn't want to wait on it because it is a topic that's going on right now too. And that's the thing, is like, there's always going to be, like, I know we're doing September childhood cancer awareness, but that shouldn't be discussed just in September. It's just that when eyes are on it. But like, same thing with like Black Lives Matter shouldn't only be a thing that's around Martin Luther King Day, or Autism Month shouldn't be only a thing that's I believe April 2nd or something. Like, let's talk about these things all the time. And plus it's like, I need to intertwine things to it. I just didn't know if it would be appropriate for me to be like, oh, here's kids and then here's sex trafficking. Like, I didn't want the two intertwined at all. But yes. And then I did Jackie's interview too for the kidney, and like, we're going to do a follow-up with all of them together through a Zoom call, probably in a week or two when I get back from Iowa. So that'll be exciting too. And then we'll have this one. We'll post this one. I'm trying to talk a lot because we only have like 10 minutes and I have to get everything out.
I know. And today is definitely, you're taking the reins today, because you know how I'm normally like super prepared.
Well, you were probably like, well, we're not going to do it in 2 weeks in a row. She doesn't.
Well, yes and no, but like I was in the car when you texted me and I had just parked and I was like, oh my gosh, I have 7 minutes. And I was like, I gotta run out. And you know, there's always a lot to talk about. There's always something that's happening, and
Yeah.
you know, things are getting better. Like there's something bigger and like worse that's happening. So I think today is good to just focus on all the good things, right? So and I have my computer out right now, like searching
Yeah.
for all the
What's
topics.
going on? I will
Um,
say, like, remember how we talked last week about like doing things, like either donating money, being involved, showing up, going to stuff, that type of stuff. I will say that this week was definitely like I was more concentrated on that than I was just staying on Facebook and getting mad. And
yeah,
like I was really trying to have conversations. Like I went and met a guy who he's very conservative, history teacher. And I was like, okay, I want to have, and it was a great conversation. And he's not, I mean, there's more than two people on the docket that you can vote for. He's not voting for Trump or Biden. But his just explanation, I was like, this is a really good conversation from two educated people sitting down with that don't agree on everything, but we're going to listen to each other. And I appreciated doing it. And then the same thing of like tonight, right after this, I'm going to do an interview, podcast interview with a teenager that had leukemia. But then after that, I'm photographing a thing for my church, which I mean, I haven't been to church in forever. And regardless of what anybody believes, whatever, I love going to the church that I go to because we're involved with the community. So they do this thing where it's called Unite Nashville. And the
okay.
last time they did it was like June 8th or something. And all these people got together and they were just singing in this hall. It was the coolest thing. And I wasn't there. And so this time I was like, oh my God, I'm going. I'm like, I'm going to go to this because it's like a couple hundred people, but they're all spread out and it's right across from Nissan Stadium. So I think it's outside this time, but it's like all different colors and it's basically just praying for people to be united. So as long as it doesn't start pouring, it'll happen at 7.
It's a good segue to talk about
Yes,
Jacob Blake's mother.
Oh,
I was like a moment there.
You mean like Kudos or just in general, Jacob?
Well, both. I mean, just like her speech about how, you know, if what did she say? Two houses.
That we're the United States and we should all be united together. Yeah. Which I need to go back and or watch her speech again. So the reason why I thought of her as my Kudos for the week was, I mean, there's a few things like that I don't necessarily agree with or that I do. But to have well, she didn't lose her son, but almost. And to be like, you and I are not we're part of the movement, but we're not in the movement. Like we haven't been, for one, I don't have black skin. For two, I don't know what it's like to feel like people are targeting me. And then also, I'm not directly related to somebody who has been directly hurt by police brutality. So it's like I'm involved in it, but I'm not that close to it, as in like it's not happening directly to me. So to have somebody that literally her son was shot, she is in the middle of it, and then she gets up there with such pose and like, I mean, her speech was pretty amazing as far as being a mom and her son. Like, she could have been super angry. She could have been like just mad and like, but what she said was so still united. Like, it was from both sides. And I just thought that was really brave of her to do, and she did it well.
I agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you haven't watched it, I encourage everybody to go watch it. From whatever side of Black Lives Matter you're on, go listen to a mom talk about her son being shot. And she doesn't even stay on that. She stays more on, let's all come together. Let's all be united.
She says she's calling for national unity and healing. She says for everyone to let our hearts, love, and our intelligence to work together to show the rest of the world how humans are supposed to treat each other. America is great when we behave greatly.
Yeah.
It was a pretty powerful speech, definitely.
Yeah.
So
who's your kudos?
Gee. I wasn't ready. I mean, we can talk about Chadwick Boseman for a second, and he has passed away, age of 43. He had a 4-year battle with colon cancer that he kept to himself. He kept it quite private. And I actually went through on his Instagram and was reading the comments on some of his posts where he was talking about just like positive things, talking about things he's doing, promoting a movie that he was in. And you can clearly see that he had lost a significant amount of weight. And when I was looking through the comments when he posted that video, it was accusations of him having an eating disorder, accusations of him doing drugs, saying that, you know, this is what we were talking about before about social media and how it can be very toxic. And then you look down at the most recent comments. They're like, oh my gosh, we didn't know. And then some people were, you know, calling out people for being like, you know, it's really important not to have a knee-jerk reaction and just state what, you know, whatever comes to your mind, because everyone's going through something that we may not know about. And this is a prime example of that.
Right.
Chadwick Boseman has a long history of speaking giving speeches specifically to inspire young people, and young Black people to be yourself and to work hard, love yourself, and I went in this rabbit hole of just listening to him speak, and it's like, show people that you're going to do exactly what they don't expect you to do. So, man, yeah, I mean, yeah, okay, kudos to Chadwick Boseman.
There you go.
You know, Black Panther, the movie, was huge for young Black children.
Well, they had a superhero that looked like them that they could aspire to grow up like. I mean, I know a lot of kids, like Black, white, Asian, any color, that like would be wearing Superman or wearing Batman or whatever. But it was really cool to watch when that came out. And like a lot of my Black friends were like, oh my God, this is awesome. And then their kids like, this is awesome. So, and even like, if you read the comments and a lot of the things since he passed is just like, you were such a role model to my kid, and you gave him like this superhero that looks like him. It's sad.
Intense.
But he left a mark. He left a huge positive mark. There's a lot of people that go through life for 43 years and don't use their lives to help others or to do things. And I mean, he will leave a lifelong or legacy way past him.
Absolutely.
We're going to do our superhero movie.
We are superheroes. You're my
superhero. Okay, well, this is going to be a really short one and probably the most disorganized one that we did, but it was still good.
It was good. It's always great to talk to you. It's always great
much sunnier it is where you are. I am sitting in front of my window.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
It is so beautiful in Chicago today. It is like 78 degrees.
Oh,
So
perfect.
it's quiet. It's peaceful today in Chicago. For any of those that are wondering,
Yeah.
it's very peaceful. But anyway, next week we will be ready.
I will be in Iowa, but we can record it and guess where I will be? In the bus. I'll be on the bus. So you might have to, I don't think my computer will work to record it. So
I can do it.
your computer record
Yeah.
it? Okay, cool. All righty. I'm
All
off
right.
to save the world. Just kidding. I'm not doing saving the world. I'm off to capture a story.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
I'll see y'all later.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye.